Welcome to my Paralogue walkthrough video. In this video, we are going to cover the Weathervanes of Fodlan Paralogue. This is Annette and Gilbert's Paralogue. I'd like to highlight something before we start. You've got your units on one side. This is the army Byleth brought, if you remember the beginning of the Paralogue. And this is going to be the second part of the map where Annette and Gilbert are. As you could probably expect, things haven't gone according to plan. For this Paralogue, I highly recommend that you give Gilbert a battalion, even if it's just an E rank, because it's going to come in handy, or you hope it will come in handy. Because this mission will get very difficult regardless. I mean, not regardless, if you don't have a battalion on Gilbert. Now, I've already made some pre-map preparation, so I'll just begin the battle. The victory conditions: defeat the enemy commander. Your defeat conditions: Byleth, Dimitri, Annette, or Gilbert falls in battle. Defeat conditions are a bit different because I am playing on hard difficulty, but this shouldn't change the ultimate objective of the mission or how I play.
Uncle,
Now I'm gonna just skip that cutscene.
we can't afford to stay.
Be calm. If we do not, we need but...
Now, you might be thinking, oh, why can't Annette and Gilbert kick a bunch of ass and get through? Well, here's the problem. These 4 Fortress Knights, they're pretty strong. Plus, notice they have they all have, well, these guys have a tomahawk equipped. And what that means is, if they have more range, they can easily get to Annette. And they'll move towards her, don't get me wrong. These Kingdom soldiers, on the other hand, have silver axes, meaning they pack a punch. And Annette or Gilbert will not be known for dodging blows. So it's pretty important you get to them as soon as you can.
Ready when you
In that
are.
sense, I'll have Ingrid try and fly over as fast as she can.
Let's make this quick. No time to slow down.
What's the plan?
Mind if Sylvain can't do it?
I must lead them well. Not
I'll comply. Too weak for this world. I'll cut through. You haven't earned my pity.
more fighting.
Dimitri's not necessarily better because he dances,
All talk and no action.
but giving him an extra turn never hurts.
I'd be honored.
Oops, I didn't need him that close. Set the sub-team.
Who's just stronger?
Our allies are being held in that stronghold in the south.
At your service.
Now the important part here
I'm your girl.
is that Annette takes out, and I cannot stress this enough, at least one of these guys.
And nobody's fool.
Oops, I actually stuffed that up.
My orders? Our plan is ready.
Oh, that didn't work as planned.
My orders? Is now.
You might not have Gilbert at a high enough level
I'm
where
your
he can
girl.
use a battalion.
Can't afford to lose.
My orders.
But the whole point of him having a battalion is so that he might be able to slow one of the enemies down and thus prevent Annette from taking too much damage. Although it doesn't seem that I'm going to have it in my favor today. So maybe I'm going to have to luck out with something else. I don't luck out. I'll show you what happens if things don't work to plan. So Annette's going to win, but then the other knights are going to charge in. Most likely get Annette because she has really poor dodge. And statistics aren't really her strong point. And this is going to happen no matter what you do. So this is actually a very important point. You need Annette to, well, basically always survive. Somehow.
My orders.
Because otherwise your units won't be able to get to her in time to do anything. You can't even afford a rescue.
Orders.
I'm your girl. What's next?
Plan is ready.
So use a gambit. I'm just using Geralt's mercenaries.
I'm sorry. No.
The hope is Annette dodges,
Can't afford to lose.
and thus you get by. The other Fortress Knight couldn't move to get into range of Annette because I've just used a gambit on him, which has slowed his movement. And that's really important. Because if you don't get at least one of those knights down, or you stop them with a gambit, 3 Fortress Knights are going to take down Annette. Unless this is normal, casual, or classic, and everyone is incredibly overpowered. But
What's
that's
my
not,
strategy?
unfortunately, very likely.
More fighting. It's win or die. Ready when you are.
So I'm right now going to have Ingrid get across to them.
Let's make this quick.
I'm actually going to have Byleth now start drawing all of these people towards her. Because she can afford to. And I've not set things incorrectly. I'm playing with a female Byleth this round.
One to remember.
I'd be honored.
So I am using the correct pronouns.
What's the plan?
I'll have Mercedes further up that way. I think Sylvain can take a little bit more damage.
You lost that one.
Annette will take down that knight.
Annette, go.
I couldn't possibly leave.
Even if you must.
Now I'm going to have Annette stay behind, and Gilbert will as well. Now remember, it's important that Annette stays alive at this point, and possibly stays on this stronghold so she can heal. If she doesn't, it's going to be increasingly difficult for the 4 Fortress Knights to not kill her. As long as you make sure that the Fortress Knights don't kill her, you're set. Yeah. Because really, guaranteeing Annette's survival, or Gilbert would have survived no matter what happened. Making sure that Gilbert didn't die, and Annette didn't die, I should add, was the most important thing. Now, reinforcements will start to appear at some point. but it should not be that big of a deal. Now, Ingrid has come to pick everybody up and secure an escape route. So let's see. That guy's still alive, which isn't great. Now Annette and Gilbert have a place to run to.
You took me lightly.
I'll have Ingrid stand in front so that Annette is shielded somewhat.
All is going on.
Always cover Annette and Gilbert.
I expect no less.
To a lesser extent, cover Byleth and Dimitri, because if they die, the game ends too, but they're not that vital. That makes me sound incredibly cruel. But what I mean by that is they're probably strong enough to hold their own. The real focus should always be Annette and Gilbert remaining alive at all times.
You haven't earned my pity.
Not bad at all.
I'm going to have to use a few more skills just to make sure Sylvain doesn't get his ass handed to him. Excuse the slight potty mouth.
All for our future.
She's gonna get targeted. Mercedes, I mean. Let's heal up Sylvain. Behind the pillar. And Sylvain is better suited to taking on all of that damage. Oh! Let's rewind that moment.
What's the plan? Don't bother haunting me.
Now let's have him back off. Here.
At your service.
I lucked out there.
You fought well.
No, actually, no. I didn't. Nosferatu will absorb some health.
I shall not stray.
Now note that because I've covered Annette and Gilbert, they're relatively safe.
Let's make this quick. More fighting.
I brought Dorothea along as a dancer just for that very reason.
I'm your girl.
Now I've basically gotten Annette
My orders?
and Gilbert through without much of an issue.
What's my strategy? Another victory.
I'm just taking care of any reinforcements. This time I'm not going to be as silly
All talk and no action.
and use a combat
Ready when
art to
you
take
are.
down that those units. You really don't want units remaining alive as longer than they have to on this map. So if you can take them out in one hit, take them out in a hit. Let's see. No one's in desperate need of healing.
One to remember. You knew the odds.
I'd be honored.
The odds are too low. I'll have Ash wait. And it's the enemy's turn. Now, this is a pretty good defensive formation. We'll be just fine. Now I can start thinking about cutting down the other units around the map. So just taking that stronghold and this stronghold. Now I know what you're thinking. There was a bit of luck involved in that strategy. And there was. I'm not going to deny that. However, there wasn't as much luck needed because... I mean, not as much luck needed, but it was a welcome plan because I did have an idea of what I needed to do and what needed to happen. Some of you might also have noted that Byleth has some really good stats. And you're correct, I've actually buffed Byleth quite a bit. Now Annette's gonna go on the offense. Gilbert is not my best character, so he'll just slightly go on the offense. The other hand. I'll have Felix as a mortal savant. Take out that stronghold in the area. Oops, I forgot to unlock the door. Yeah, I know what you're doing. Thinking I wasted a charge.
What's the plan?
At your service. All is going to plan. This could turn the tides.
Let's just put it this way, my Byleth, regardless of difficulty, is most likely not dying.
What's my strategy? This could turn the tides.
Now, we make slow and steady advancements.
Ready when you are.
I ordered.
Let's make this quick.
Oh, Lysithia.
I'm your
Annette, move up.
more fighting.
Dorothea, I'm sorry. We'll just keep dancing characters away.
I'll cut through.
Well, now I'll have Felix draw a little bit of fire. Setters will jump in at the rear.
All is going to plan. They said
It all comes down to this.
Uh-oh. Probably not my wisest move. So...
I'd be honored.
at your service.
And now we'll go.
I must lead them well.
Always have your hand on Divine Pulse. It will... It's gonna save your butt. Now, Baron Dominic is pretty strong. As you can see, his stats as a paladin or paladin are pretty good. He also has a very interesting ability. You've probably expected Canto, and Lance Fair, because they're typical abilities for a paladin. Lance Prowess. Swordbreaker, of course, because he's a lance user. He's also got terrain resistance, which won't really do anything unless you have battalions that light the ground on fire. But Poison Strike is the interesting one. That if the Baron gets a hit on you, you can lose up to 20% of your max health after combat is finished. So pay attention to that.
You fought well.
Actually gonna have Sylvain stand to the side.
What's the plan? I was just stronger.
Charge in with my units.
What's my
Byleth
strategy?
will just run in, as always.
I'm your girl. Can't afford to lose. More fighting.
Let's make this quick.
Sophia will take out that Fortress Knight.
I'll comply. Too weak for this world.
Michu will take that person out. Now I've got a Swordmaster who's targeting Ash.
Ready when you are.
Won't really get to him in time, so my other alternative is moving Ingrid just below the onager. Oops. That's a Ingrid. Getting behind that swordsman.
I aim for greatness.
Taking him out, protecting Ash. Now all that's left is Baron Dominic.
Wow, thanks.
But of course, just for poetic justice, I'm gonna finish him off. With Annette.
I have no wish to.
I will not. I finally.
Just for poetic justice.
So, this is it. Take the hero's relic.
Brother,
And don't worry about you when all of this is over.
You have
That is the Weathervanes of Fodlan battle done. Really, the only difficult part about this paralogue is guaranteeing that Annette and Gilbert survive. Give Gilbert the best battalion you can. I gave him a very weak battalion, which is Gerald's Mercenaries. But once Annette and Gilbert are secure, you can take as much time as you need in this battle. Even the reinforcements that appear, not too big of a problem. That is this paralogue walkthrough complete. If you liked this video, please do subscribe. There will be more videos like this in the future. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because there will be more paralogue walkthrough videos being filmed.